going to be working on dividing integers tonight. Let's go to number 24 first. I'll be doing the even, you'll be doing the odd. Number 24 states that 56 is going to be divided by -8. Well, using our multiplication table, we remember that 56 divided by 8 is actually 7. And now we have to remember how to go ahead and work those signs in front. Well, much like multiplication, if we divide a positive number by a negative number, we're going to get a negative number. Why is that? Because we have to work backwards to check our answer. Now, it would be -7 times -8 would equal +56. Let's go over those rules again. Remember, positive times a positive gives us a positive answer. A negative times a negative also gives us a positive answer. But a negative times a positive will give us a negative answer. All right, let's go ahead and try number 36. I'm sorry, we're working on 26, and this would have been number 25. Don't know why that didn't show up, but I'll put it in there. Number 26 states 32 divided by 8. Well, we know 32 divided by -8, is going to leave us a negative number because a positive divided by a negative, positive and a negative make a negative number. So 32 divided by 8, that's going to leave us 4, so our answer would be -4. Number 28 says -27 over 3. And remember, every single fraction is really a division problem. So -27 is being divided by 3 in this question. So first of all, 27 divided by 3 we know is 9. And now we have to remember a negative number divided by a positive number is going to go ahead and leave us a negative number. I guess some of you are probably wondering why I just didn't put division symbols in between all this. We could just as well have done that. We could say a positive number divided by a positive number will give us a positive number. We could all say that a negative number divided by a negative number will give us a positive number. And a negative number divided by a positive number will give us a negative number. All right, let's proceed. Let's go to number 30. It says R will be 12, S will be -4, and T will be -6. We're using substitution in these problems. So in this problem, we really have -12 being divided by R, which is 12. Well, 12 divided by 12, we already know is 1. And a negative divided by a positive will give us a -1. Number 32 states S plus T. Well, S is -4. And if we're going to add -4 to T, then we're really adding it to -6. And then we're dividing all that by 5. All right, so the first thing we want to do is get our top numbers all together. We've got -4 plus -6. Well, that's like saying I owe $4, and then I'm going to combine it with another debt of $6. That's going to make -10. And we're going to divide -10 by 5. And now we know that we have a negative number divided by a positive number. That's going to leave us a negative number. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. So our answer will be -2. Let's go to number 34 now. It says find the quotient of 30 or 65 and 13. Well, quotient means division problem, so we have negative 65 is going to be divided by negative 13. Well, first of all, remember, every fraction is really a division problem, so a negative divided by negative is going to give us a positive answer. And now we have to figure out what is 65 divided by 13. Well, let's go ahead and work that in our calculator, shall we? $65 divided by 13 gives us 5. So our answer is positive 5. For those that want to do it the hard way, here's 65, dividing it by 13. How many times does 13 go into 65? 5 times. 3 times 5 is 5. Excuse me, 15. We have to put 1 up here. And now, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So as you can see, it fits in there perfectly. All right, let's go to number 36. It says, the change in altitude over time for several hot air balloons is shown. Find the rate of change in feet per minute for each balloon. All right, saying what is the rate of change in feet per minute? So we're going to have to go ahead and realize we have the change in altitude. We have the time. Now we have to find the rate, and that's the feet per minute. Okay? So let's work those out. The first one is pretty easy. We have negative 2,700. And since we have time here, we're going to use our formula. Our rate times time is going to equal distance. All right, if that's true, that means our rate must be multiplied to our time to equal our distance. So that also means that our distance can be divided by rate or time to find whatever's missing. So we're going to take our distance, which is negative 2,700, and we're going to divide it by our time, which is 135. First of all, how many times does 135 go into 270? Well, that goes into twice. 5 times 2 is 0, carry the 1, that's at least 7, and 2 times 1 is 2. So, right off the bat, we've got 270. And 2 will go over the 0 since we had to move 3 places. We've finished it all pretty nice. But since our decimal's here, we'll have to add a 0 there, which means our answer is 20. But remember, we're dividing a negative number by a positive number, so our answer will have to be negative 20. Next, let's go with neon lights. We've got 480, and I'm just going to go ahead and erase this here. And if we take 480, once again, that's our distance. We're going to divide that by 30. Well, 3 goes into 48. 30 goes into 48 one time. And gives us a remainder of 18. And 30 goes into, well, yeah, 30 goes into 180. That's like saying how many times does 3 go into 18? That'd be 6 with a 0 at the end. So we're going to say our answer is 6. 6 times 30 would make 180. So this would be 16. And since both our distance and our time were positive, we have a positive divided by a positive, so that's going to make a positive answer. Last one for the evening says Star Wonder. And if we go to Star Wonder, we see it's negative 1,500. We're going to divide that by 60. How many times does 60 go into 150? Well, I'm going to say twice, because 6 times 2 is 12, so this will make 120. That's going to leave us 300. Let's not forget to put the 2 over the 0, since we had to go 3 spaces in order to get 60 to go into a number. Now we have 300 left over. How many times does 60 go into 30? That's easy. 5. Since 5 times 6 is 30, I know 60 times 5 will be 300. So our answer is 25. But remember, once again, we have a negative number divided by a positive number, so our answer will be negative. That's it for this evening. Looking forward to seeing you in class, and good night.